Welcome everyone, it's Simon J, Compare Recruitment Factoring. This is Recruitment Funding 5, 5 minutes of Q&As with funding providers into the recruitment market. It's something I get asked quite a bit. How are the funders coping at the moment? What are the changes in market? So thought I'd do a short series with a number of different lenders and get some of the questions out there. So yeah, hope you enjoy, and let me introduce you to my first guest. Dean from Team Factors. Dean, give us 30 seconds on you, I guess the business, and then we'll jump into a couple of questions.
Sure, no problems. I'm Dean McGarry. I'm the Commercial Director at Team Factors. I've been with the company for 8 years. My background's in the recruitment industry. Team Factors are an owner-managed invoice financier specialising in disclosed facilities and payroll and back office. Our niche is £0 to £4 million turnover. We specialise in the SME market, as I've already mentioned. We're currently running upwards of 150 live clients within the UK.
And you don't just deal in recruitment, but it's a big part of your book, Dean?
Yeah, recruitment isn't exclusive to what we do. I would probably say it represents around about 80% of our book, all told. There are some weird and wild and wonderful things in there, but I guess, as you know, Simon, once you get a reputation for doing specific types of work, it attracts other parts.
Yeah, and some of the other guys in the series that are not recruitment specific, but some of the actual salespeople have become so recruitment specific. That's literally all they deal with because they've got the right connections within the market and they create a profile for themselves within it. So I guess my first question, and I think it's a question most people have, is the biggest change to the sales process, to your sales process since COVID. I guess you're not going out on the road, you're not doing 1,000 miles a week, you're not seeing people face to face. I guess there's two strands to the question. One being the rapport building and dealing with prospect clients, and the second being actually the internal process of how you actually do a deal without meeting someone.
Sure. So let's deal with the first matter. In my opinion, you're usually guaranteed 30 minutes if you're booking in a face-to-face meeting with someone. Yeah. So you've got more time to build rapport and understand exactly what their needs are.
Yeah.
That's dramatically decreased if you're having to deal with this via a video call or a telephone call. You've got to grab their attention, you've got to understand their needs, and you've got to get to the point relatively concisely. So that's proved slightly challenging. I think we have to listen a little bit more rather than preamble and try to get on with someone, create a solution for them, and then explore that solution based upon the way that they see it. As far as the actual process is concerned, everything's done remotely. We're working and adhering to the government's distance guidelines through CV19, so the documents are sent remotely, signed remotely.
Brilliant.
And usually what I will do through experience of having done this trial and error is set up a Zoom call or a Teams call and run through the documents with the candidates at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's basically the same, just you're not seeing them, you're just seeing them on a webcam, and the documents are still getting done. I think what's important is that you're still doing it, and there's still a way of doing it. And I think a lot of lenders have had to adapt very, very quickly to go in and sort of verifying IDs face to face and not actually being able to. So it's good to know that it's still happening, and I'm sure there's different processes with everyone, but it's simple and straightforward, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and you know, the benefit of my business is that there's a small management hierarchical structure. We didn't have to go to committee to change this. We're relatively agile in making decisions, so we're able to fine tune that to whatever the circumstances come up, whatever guidance the government gives, and soon things are relaxed.
No, I think I appreciate this is Recruitment Funding 5, but it's going to be interesting when things do get back to normal, and actually this process, this electronic, slick, nice, easy ways. How common will it be? Will it be common practice? I know in market that I sort of, when I was 8-9 years, it was never good practice. You'd never do it. You'd always meet the prospect, but actually things have changed, and prospects like it. Right, at the sounds of it, it's quick, it's easy, straightforward, and they're comfortable. So I think personally, I think there'll be a weight of both of it in the future. If they don't want to meet with you and they want to do it online, I think that could potentially happen.
Absolutely. If they sell nuts and bolts, obviously you'd still want to go and see the premises because there's goods there. But I can see a shift in businesses, as we're talking about recruitment, who have got physical invoices that are auditable that way. You could still do the majority of this remotely. So it might save the environment and my pedals some miles in the car.
But it might save the miles on your car. You won't be changing it so often. Yeah, it's a very valid point. Well, look, that's really good. I'll probably only do 2 actually, just conscious of time. But what I was also interested to see, you deal 80% in the recruitment market. where have you seen the biggest growth since, I guess, CV19? So I assume the obvious is healthcare, and I assume that's throughout. But am I true? And also, have there been any industries that have sort of surprised you that have actually grown like crazy or have taken off a bit, or certain types? Just a bit interested to see what it's been over the last 8 weeks.
Sure. Absolutely. Healthcare in specific sectors, we've seen a massive amount of growth in, and still people confident in starting new businesses because they can see opportunity, because certain areas of the NHS or the healthcare system are oversubscribed. So your RGNs who are seeing an overworked ward are taking an opportunity to set up a business and come in, and I completely understand that. Haulage, logistics, are two industries I think that are also seeing an uplift as our lifestyle choices have had to change. We're seeing more things be delivered, more things be shipped around remotely. So certainly seen an uplift and an uptick in those two areas. Ones that have surprised me, there's a couple that have surprised me in a negative way are some other areas of the healthcare industry. We've got a lot of clients that work with private hospitals, the Bupa, the Spires, and they've been taken over by the NHS, usually to deal with the cancer patients. So there's no elective surgery going on at the moment. So we've actually seen a decrease in people that work in that side of healthcare. That's something that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Wow. Okay. So, and healthcare, driving and haulage, and the construction market, I'm guessing, from your point of view.
There's been a little bit of a pickup actually in the construction market. I think that there was a pause after the initial legislation and lockdown were implemented. It's probably, and I don't work within the construction industry, easier to maintain social distancing on an outside site. And I'm certainly seeing the rhetoric now from the government and some of my existing clients to pick back up within the construction market. I was on another call this morning that were talking about 5 major engineering projects that are going on within my county. They're all starting up again as of next week. So we're hopeful that they're one of the industries that are going to recover quickest.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Cool.
Really, I wanted to know from your perspective, what are prospects or customers asking you that's different? Have their priorities changed when they're talking to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing that sticks out in my mind 100% from the last 8 weeks is credit insurance, bad debt protection. So every inquiry that we get, or a good proportion, is our current funder, we can't get the credit limit on here. They're asking us for work. Things are opening up. Why can't we get this credit limit? And then we'll go to market and look at it, and we might get it, we might not. And it sort of seems to be a bit of a dogfight to get the bad debt protected limit with the client. And totally self-explanatory, because obviously the credit insurers are wary about insuring anything because they're wary about basically anything in market. Good news from that is that you've probably seen that I think the government talked about some sort of support to trade insurance companies. So hopefully we should, over the next coming months, see some more protection on the limits.
Yeah, we're hopeful of that too, absolutely.
I think it's the same. I think everyone's in the same boat. Interestingly, I thought I'd get numerous inquiries from people saying, look, current funder service has really slipped since people are working from home and it's not as good and we want to move to get a better service. Actually have had very, very minimal inquiries like that. So everyone seems to everyone's in a different situation. Their credit controller might be working from home, their account manager might be working from home, and the kids might be in the garden. But I think we're all in the same boat. And there's been no one that said, look, the customer service is shocking, which is amazing, actually, because often, maybe 6 months ago, we'd be getting calls from people saying the customer service is shocking, shocking, shocking. And now we're not even hearing about it. So, and we're in an industry where things have totally changed, and people are working from their bedrooms.
Yeah. That's interesting. At least that there's some kind of consensus that we're all in this together then, by the sounds of things.
Absolutely, 100%, absolutely. So that was a good question. So appreciate you coming on. It's definitely been longer than 5 minutes. And I'm sure we'll probably do another one because I want to explore loads of other avenues. But appreciate you coming on, and we'll put it on LinkedIn, and hopefully it shows some benefit out to people.
Okay, thanks for your time and thanks for the opportunity, Simon. Have a nice day.
Cheers, Dean. See you later.
Cheers.